Welcome back. This is Curious Life, and today we are going to do a mid-year review. It's about that time that we have a look back and see how the year's going so far and whether we're actually keeping up with our goals or what needs to change.
I cannot believe we're here already. Like, this year has just flown by. So, here we are.
So, shall we start with an overview on how the year's gone? I mean, for me, this year it's all about change. Everything's changing.
Everything's changing, and yet also everything's kind of not.
Yeah, this year's gone so fast because everything's changing, but also we're just trying to keep up. And I don't know, it's been a year.
It's 6 months in, and it's been a year.
So for you, what's your overview so far impression of how the year's going?
So far, I am pretty proud of myself. Some of my goals I am struggling to reach, but I understand why and how, and have modified them slightly to be more realistic. Other things, like there's been life-changing stuff that's happened that we just couldn't have predicted for, so some of my goals do need to be reset, like particularly around work. Yeah, overall I'm really happy with how the year's been so far, and I'm looking forward to how it's going to develop.
For me, I'd say that this year's been good, but been a little bit difficult. Not in a particularly bad way. I'm just a lot busier than I thought I'd be. And life seems to be moving really, really fast this year, and I'm really struggling to keep up with everything, I guess would be my impression of the year so far. Not helped by, changing 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's almost like we decided to take the YouTube channel in a slightly different direction again, and then decided to send you to uni, which was something we just spur of the moment went, let's just do it.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fine. Then I'm changing jobs, so that came out of nowhere because I just decided.
And to put this into a little bit of perspective, change is not something we deal with very well, which is common among a lot of neurodiverse people, is that changing things is really, really difficult. So we have to put in a lot more planning and thought into these sorts of changing.
Yes.
So how are your goals going this year?
So I had split my goals into 9 categories, and overall in all of them, I don't want to bore you with like a list of every single, an update on every single one, because each of the 9 categories then had multiple goals in them. So in mental, one of the goals I had was tidy the bedroom before sleep. That has not happened. The bedroom has become a little bit of a dumping zone while we organise other things. I can get to the bed, so we can get to the bed and it's all fine.
Yeah, now that's a thing that has to probably go on a goal list to sort that out.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is many of my goals were just just kind of do this throughout the year. They weren't very smart. They weren't do this by this time and then you can tick it off and you've got evidence to show that it's been achieved. That's probably one of my things, is my goals weren't very good.
I'd actually say that a lot of my goals suffered from the same thing. My goals definitely didn't allow for change, and they were such big, overarching, you're going to do this for the entire year type goals. I don't do anything for 2 weeks. I don't know how I thought I was going to manage a year.
I mean, but some things, like for physical, going to the gym consistently, what does that mean? But I would say I feel like that we're achieving it. Not this week.
Yes.
Generally, I feel like we're achieving this.
We go to the gym most of the time, which I would say is a win for us.
I mean, we have consistently not been to the gym this week, so that totally counts as consistent. We achieved the goal. So there are 1 or 2 that were like literal, yes, you do it the once and then that's done. So for the garden, buy a strimmer. Yeah, done that. I've even used this occasionally. What we're learning here is goals are really rubbish. We're not very good at setting them.
No, for me, I set mine into 8 categories, which was miscellaneous, which is a great one, work and career, uni and self-development, the blog and the YouTube channel, health, and then home and garden. And I also had a whole one which we have failed at epically, which is called use what you have. We have not used what we have. We have replaced everything in the house virtually.
I know, but it's so much better.
So for me, some of my goals are doing okay, but like I said earlier, they're too big. I'm going to complete my first year of a degree this year. Well, I'm going to do that regardless. It doesn't need to be a goal.
Well, you might not have done, but then you would have failed at your first thing of the degree. It doesn't take Y into account. It's just a
no,
yes or no. It doesn't go,
yes, I did some degree this year.
yes, you did the first year of the degree, or no, you didn't do the first year of the degree this year. And now you're going to feel worse on top of that you didn't achieve this goal, despite the fact the reason why you probably wouldn't achieve that is difficult and like has a lot of good reasons. Like, it doesn't take into account real life.
No. And the upshot of this is that pretty much all of my goals, they're not smart, they're not particularly measurable, they're not very good, and they did not account for how much our life would change in this first few months of the year. So none of them take into that account, and the fact that the second half of the year is going to have to change to reflect things that have happened.
I think the moral of the story, goals are just kind of vague flags in the distance that you may or may not achieve. But having at least a direction to set in is also a positive thing.
Yes. So for me, I'm going to probably redo my entire goals section of my bullet journal to reflect some realistic plans for the next half of the year.
Maybe one of the learning things is our goals shouldn't be for the whole year. They should be more measurable and shorter. A couple more short-term goals instead of all of them being for the entire year.
Yeah. The other thing I'm going to do is I have entirely changed how I bullet journal now. And which again, I didn't take account for, which means I have entire sections of my bullet journal that I need to take out or change. So I'm probably going to be spending a little bit of time doing that as well. Like, I set up projects and entire sections aimed at getting things done using the getting things done method. I've not even opened it, so there's no point of being there.
I do need to go through my bullet journal and just give it a bit of a go through. You know how a lot of other people, they bullet journal in books, so you can see a lot of our old bullet journals along the top here. We did used to do books. We now do folders. So I just need to go through my bullet journal folder and archive some stuff and shift a few things around. I love that we can do that. The bullet journal folder for me works better than a book.
Yeah, me too. It frustrated me no end that I couldn't move things.
Or that
in the notebooks.
Every 3 months you would have to do a new book and have to repeat it all, and then that my work stuff would be in amongst my personal stuff with all our projects. We could do an entire video on that. We probably will.
So I guess the overall theme of this is that everything this year has changed for us, which means our goals and plans have to change. But that's okay. It's okay for things to change. And just because you write something at the beginning of the year as a plan or a goal, it doesn't mean you have to do it if your circumstances or your mindset or for any reason you want to change them. You can do that.
Yeah, only aim for goals that are adding benefit to you in the moment.
Yes, if the goal's not serving you anymore, you don't need to work hard to meet the goal. Just change the goal so that it works for you again. And that's what I am going to be doing.
But overall for me, 6 months in, You know what? I think so far it's been a fantastic year. If this year continues the way it has been, I'm going to be ecstatic. I'm starting to feel like we're getting things together. I feel like we're making progress. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and then the year after that. We've got so many plans already for next year.
Do have so much to do. But yeah, the year has been good. It's just been a little bit tricky from a planning and management perspective.
Mostly time and energy. I think sometimes we over egg what we think we can achieve, and that's something we need to work on.
But thank you for watching. Let us know if your goals have changed, or just let us know how your year is going as well.
Yeah, thank you for watching and stay curious. Bye.